Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Okay, I want to talk about a weird kind of subject. And, yeah, let me get it here, get out of the wind here. And, what it is loan sharks. Now, I'm sorry, I can't give you the full lowdown on how I know this. And yeah, let's see. I'll put this. Yeah. The full story on how I know all this. And the reason is, if I told you the story, people would know who I'm talking about. But anyway, it's loan sharks. Now, think about it. Now, what do you know when it comes to loan sharks? And I'll tell you what it is. I used to think people go to a loan shark because they're unable to get a loan from a bank or something like that. That's what I used to think. And I'm trying to figure out how to tell this without telling you a story that goes along with it. But the thing is, I'd be wrong, and you'd be wrong too if that's what you think loan sharks, where they get their business. I'll tell you, okay. First, and I've mentioned this many times before, I don't pay. In other words, I don't use money. I seldom do I use money. And I'd never use money to pay bandits, give me your money kind of stuff. I'm not going to give you my money. Forget it. So, and it's what it is. It's that attitude that people pick up on. Okay? I mean, there's no way I'm going to give you money. I don't care. You can bring all your friends. You can bring all the guns you want. You can do any of this stuff. I'm not going to do it. The same thing, I go, let me see. Okay, I can tell you. I've had a business, and I talked about a roadhouse kind of supper club thing. And when I took that, I've been in my late 30s. And I knew, in my mind, I knew I was going to have to deal with people that would want to sell me protection. Okay, now, and I don't pay protection either. Now, I'm not going to tell you how I counter these type of activities, but I don't pay. Like I say, I don't pay this kind of stuff. Now, what got me is, okay, if you own a hot dog stand in a corner of wherever you're doing, in some neighborhood. Now, in this neighborhood, there's going to be somebody that's they're going to think that you need to pay them some protection. I mean, you don't want to get robbed. You want people to destroy your hot dog cart or whatever, So you're gonna have to pay this protection. Now, another way, and this is what I just learned, another way they do this is, let's say I was a loan shark. I'm not. And the reason is like I say, I don't use money. I tell people I don't have a house, I don't have a job, I don't have any money, so I don't loan money. Now I look for opportunities in business, and then sometimes I have to give money to make this opportunity work. But sometimes, most of the time, I've got ideas, and these ideas is what makes it work. Okay, let's say I gave you money for your hot dog stand. Let's say you came to me and you said, Mike, I need $10,000 for my hot dog stand, and I'll pay you back $1,000 a month. Well, hey, that's 20% on your money, so that's not a bad deal. So then, okay, if I gave you $10,000, and at the end of the year, you're paying me $1,000 a month. At the end of the year, you say, Mike, I want to borrow another $10,000. So then I give you another $10,000. And you would think, or at least I did, I thought, well, that's kind of silly. That's stupid. Why would you want to pay? If you're making that kind of money, you can save some money and do your own $10,000. Now just think about this. Now somebody comes to you with your hot dog stand, and they say, this is kind of a rough neighborhood. You probably should you could use some protection. And then what are you going to do when that happens? When somebody says, you're going to save some protection, or things could happen, and what are you going to do? Now, I'll put it this way. If you borrowed $10,000 from me, and I'm getting $1,000 a month, I'm expecting $1,000 a month. Okay, now, the thing is, when this guy comes to you and says, hey, you need some protection, and you're going to say, you're right. I need some protection. This is a dangerous place. I'll tell you what, why don't you talk to my partner? And that'll be me, because you owe me money. So we're kind of like a partner kind of thing. So now this person is going to have to come talk to me. Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. This is why people go to a loan shark. They're borrowing money from this loan shark. Once you do that, you're kind of like a partner with him. And the loan shark wants you to succeed because he wants his money and the interest he's going to make off of it. So that's where this stuff comes from. Now, what's going to happen is this person, if you don't pay, he's going to come break your neck and knees. Remember, you see stories about that all the time. That's right. Okay. Now, in other words, he's kind of a badass. Okay, so now what's going to happen, or he knows some badasses, they're going to send some badasses over to you one way or the other. So in other words, when this person tells you that you need some protection, and you tell him you're in partners with this guy, and then this guy's going to think, hey, I've heard of that guy. And he's going to think, well, you're already taken care of. He doesn't want to mess with you. And that's why they borrow from a loan shark. And the thing is, I've got the same attitude as a loan shark. I mean, like I say, I don't pay. And the loan shark will do what he's got to do to get his money, but I'm not motivated by money. So for me, it's a different motivation, but and I hate to even say this because a lot of people have been making fun of me or criticizing me and stuff like that, saying, you think you're a badass, so. But the reality is, I guess I kind of am. In other words, I know my limits. And once you cross those limits, I kick into a whole nother mindset. And like I say, and I teach that in my classes. As long as you don't do anything wrong, morally nobody's got the right to harm you. So, but that's one reason why I don't do business or money. I don't get involved with money because money will get twisted around to, people hurt people for money, and I don't. But then again, I don't use money, so it's no big deal. So my motivation would be different. But that's why somebody would do business with a loan shark. You're kind of paying the protection. Okay, now I go through the same thing when I talked about the supper club. I had the supper club. I went through the same thing with inspectors, government inspectors, state government and federal government. I had liquor, so I had federal liquor I had to deal with. And I had to deal with that same thing, and in which it was protection, and they were trying. The protection is the guy with the muscle, and they would make it a point to let me know that they represent the state. If it's the state inspector or if it's the federal inspector, well, I represent the federal government. So that's what I'm saying. That they use their muscle, and so this protection thing goes more than just a hot dog cart. And I had to deal with it, and that's one reason why. And I was not going to pay, and I'm not going to put up with their shit. And that's why my wife said it's time for us to leave the country because, like I say, I wouldn't put up with that shit. So, but I believe, and I'm just guessing, but if you use that type of mentality, I would say it happens in big business. So I would say a lot of the corruption going on in the United States and in all governments is going to be the muscle that they have, and they use it on business people. And so then the business people need to find a loan shark to protect them from the government. I never did find anybody. I did it all. I do things myself. So, but like I say, I'm sure these big businesses do something like that. I don't think they'll go to a bank and then tell the bank, well, look, the feds are after me for this, and the bank's going to step in. I don't think it's quite like that. But it is people that is going to protect you. And like I say, that's all I'm in. I'm in the people business. I deal with people. So that's why I'm exempt from a lot of this stuff. Now, if I'm on a dark street and these people don't know who I am, and then that's going to be a different story. So, but like I say, there is a reason for loan sharks, and it's more than just that guy that's giving a few $1,000 and going to break your knees. It goes a lot deeper than that. And so when you think of government officials, that has something to do with that. I'm not sure if rich business people, they all go through this. I'm not sure. I've never been a rich business person. But like I say, in my restaurants, when I was in the oil business, I had the state government come after me, and I went after them. So I was able to get out of that. I've told stories about that. But so there are things that you can do to get out of these things, but definitely you've got to be prepared. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.